Globalization in the Asia-Pacific and South Asia is that it is an external phenomenon being pushed into the region by the world powers, particularly the United States and Europe. From this perspective, globalization can be understood as a process that transforms the Asia-Pacific and South Asia.
The anti-global impulse, a regional alternative to globalization. So, examining the structure of current globalization, we face some issues that this phenomenon introduces. The popularity of the modern concept of globalization is primarily due to the economic and social achievements of developed countries dictating its terms to world market. As a result, the gap between poor and rich countries broadens. Development based on competition, profit making, cost reduction, and increasing market shares expands, and therefore, the need for an alternative globalization arises around the globe. A third and final paradigm to understanding the relationship of the Asia Pacific and South Asia to globalization is as a regional alternative to globalization. So, sabi dito, ito ay ikatlo at huling paradigm sa relasyon ng Asia Pacific and South Asia. So, the arguments from this perspective see the region as a source of resistance of globalization or to global or Western powers. So, pangalawa, one place to begin is with Japanese colonialism in the 1930s and 1940s. Japan's colonialization of the region and the building of a supposed East Asian co-prosperity sphere merely replicated imperial relationships in East and Southeast Asia with new master. So, however, it was also arguably a pushback against Western imperialism. Much of the propaganda during the time centered on the idea of Asia for Asiatics and the need to liberate the region from Europe. Spear referred initially to Japan, China, and Manchukuo. However, with the outbreak of World War II, Japan also looked beyond Northeast Asia to South and Southeast Asia. The failure of the co-prosperity sphere was a result not only of Japan's loss in World War II, but also the over-racism of Japan itself towards its supposed co-members. So, despite its failure and the continued bitter legacy of World War II, the nation of an Asian region that serves as a kind of opposition to globalization and Western imperialism manifests itself in different ways still today. Asia operates on the basis of harmony and consensus rather than majority rule. Concepts such as individual rights, political liberalism, and democracy are Western concepts, antithetical to the Asian traditional to that end. The leaders of these states justified their authoritarian regimes based on Asian values. So, to be sure that the concept of Asian values has come under fire from both within and outside the region. So, conclusion. So, ang pinaka magandang way sa regional alternative to, globalization ay mag-explore ng various local movements na nagawa or na-emerge na. So, sabi dito, this shows that an alternative globalization is essential for sustainable development of the world. And if the right steps and efforts are taken worldwide, an alternative to the current globalization will be possible to implement. An alternative globalization would possibly bring together countries and people in single global, equitable, and prosperous area. Despite all the crises, failures, and deviations, which is everyone's interest.
Another conclusion to this chapter was not to argue that the one lens is more appropriate than the other. This chapter also helped us to understand the relationship between region and globalization. Some argued that what we see today is a dual process of hybridization. What is hybridization? Hybridization has become part of ongoing trend in culture production, with both globalization and localization of the country industry.